Ну что ж, продолжаем. Второй эпизод.
Thank you for coming here with me. I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it. God damn it, Alice.
Now, she's missing.
Alice? Alice?
I woke up behind the wheel of a crashed car. I'm missing a week. I was attacked by shadowy men straight from a nightmare. The sheriff took me to the lake Alice and I had stayed at. But the cabin had disappeared.
И второй эпизод.
Honey, I'm home.
Back here, sweetie. How was it?
Worst weather I've ever seen.
You should put some coffee on. It'll warm you up.
Так, ну, Ниблер, я тебе ответил. Ну, они по продолжительности разные. Ну, Рейзер, вот DLC не проходил, поэтому я же сам понять не имею, что там.
Coffee's on.
Great, thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
Блин, вот этот уровень мне очень понравился, когда я впервые видел. Он такой уютный. Потому что за окном метель, снег, а тут как бы ты в доме со своей вайфу, так сказать. Приятненько. Так, тут должны быть страницы.
It's true what they say about the fall and the sudden
Кстати.
stop at the end. I'd lain here in the snow while the lurid chain of scenes that had led me here kept playing in my head. A rerun of my own private snuff movie. A memory of my corpse. Alone at my own wake. Thinking in metaphors again. The femme fatale was gone. Only a sour taste remained of the kiss that killed me.
Думаю, вы обратили внимание, какой голос это зачитывает, и даже текст тоже. Это прикольно.
This was a late goodbye. 13 years after I'd gotten my revenge, it had finally caught up with me. It had been a long time to bear the pain. My blood painted the snow red. A gruesome slushy dissolved all the scattered painkillers and leisurely dripped down to the sewer, mingling with the bile of the city, becoming one with it. I can see them now, my wife and my baby. Honey, I'm home.
Нет, Степан, это голос Макса Пейна. И, собственно, вот как раз такие события. Как бы, как я говорил, это вот книга, это типа как раз таки история Макса Пейна, отсылка. Собственно, вот и страница оттуда. Прикольно. Вот, кстати. 5 штук. О, кстати, там какой-то QR-код. Стоп. А вот его я что-то не помню. Сейчас просканирую мобилку. Интересно, что будет. Он отправляет меня на YouTube. Какого? Так, это что за хрень? Так, ребят, сейчас покажу. Вы должны это увидеть. Так, а это для меня что-то новенькое. Я что-то не помню. Такое было в оригинале? Или это в ремастер добавили? Так, сейчас, секунду, оно что-то... История не перенеслась на ПК почему-то до сих пор на ютубе. Так, раз попробую. Давай. Так, к такому я не был готов, поэтому у меня тут не настроено захват с Ютуба. Простите.
The dark place was an endless waking dream. I saw visions carried by the ebb and flow of different dream states. They seeped in from the reality beyond. Things I had a connection to, but also things I couldn't possibly know. I used them in my writing to make it real, so that the parts that weren't would become so. And there were visions that I knew were not real, ideas I had lost, often of Casey. I had written about him for years. I used them as well. The lies had to feel true for them to become true. Had I always written this way? Even before, seen things without realizing I was seeing them, thinking they were mine. Was this what inspiration was for me?
Да. Нет. Ну, слушайте, это было выложено в 21 году, 2 года назад. Да, это новый контент, по сути. Мастера. Да уж. Интересно. Ну, учитывая, что когда выпустили ремастер, уже как бы вторая часть намечалась, ее анонсировали в прошлом году, по-моему, или позапрошлом. Нет, в прошлом. Ладно.
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly.
On occasion, I can perform all sorts of miracles, my dear.
Oh, really?
Well, you seemed to think so last night.
Вроде тут все. Ну, слушайте, ну тут прикольненько. Что-то Фаренгейт
These look
вспоминается
really
прям
good.
немного.
Oh, sure, until Barry gets his hands on them. Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body. The last time was the last time. Oh, and speaking of Barry, he called. Alan! Alan, please check the fuse box.
I'm right here. I'm on it, honey.
Please hurry.
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay, hi.
You okay?
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
Don't worry. We'll just break out the candles.
I know it's stupid, but it's just... Especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help.
Запомните это.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well then, Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head.
Ну, не, Блер, я почему-то был уверен, что там в начале игры было написано, какой город, но, насколько я сейчас заметил, нет, походу.
I'm sorry you had to cut your morning fishing short for this, Doc.
Oh, she's a beauty, ain't she? Not the biggest I ever caught, if you can believe that coming from an old fisherman like me, but she's right up there. Now, she's a largemouth bass, which is what you're after if you prefer a lure. Now, if you want either trout or salmon, on the other hand, then it's fly fishing for you. You a fishing man, Mr. Wake? Oh, doesn't really matter, I suppose. But it can be very relaxing out there. You can't get me off the water this time of year. Closest thing to heaven.
I'll take your word for it, Doc.
Ну, слушайте, ну рыбка неплохая, да. Телек. Ну, Степан, в газету, походу.
Thank you for testing the lights, Miss Weaver. Everything seems to be fine.
I don't have the luxury of being complacent, Deputy Grant. The bulbs will need changing soon. You can't change them in the dark.
I'll be sure to take care of it, Miss Weaver. Have a nice day now.
Very good. I'll come back later on to remind you, just in case.
Опять эта бабуля.
Mr. Wake, the sheriff is waiting for you in her office down the corridor.
Спасибо.
That was Cynthia Weaver. I guess you can call her the town eccentric. She used to be the editor of the local newspaper, but she's focused on, other things these days.
She'd fit right in where I come from.
As you can see, she's a little obsessed with maintaining the light bulbs of the whole town, refuses to step on shadows, things like that. Back in her day, she wrote about all sorts of weird things in the paper. Bright Falls has a colorful history. Of course, what small town hasn't?
Так, ну как мы можем заметить, эта бабуля что-то знает. И пытается, походу, защитить всех. Вот и стало.
Alice looked through the viewfinder, lining up the shot. Cauldron Lake was breathtaking. Something caught her eye. A figure standing in the shadows behind the cabin, like a thin woman in a black dress. She lowered the camera and looked again. No one there. Just a collection of bushes that looked vaguely human-shaped. She shook her head and laughed.
Yeah, it's Mulligan here. I'm at Stucky's gas station with Thornton. There's no sign of him. Over.
Wait. Yeah, this is Thornton. Look, we've located the brake float. It's here. That's some good news, right? Stucky was supposed to be driving it at the rehearsals today. Over.
Oh, give me that. Mulligan here.
Ну, стаки уже
Looks like
того.
someone really thrashed the garage. Over.
Okay, roger that, guys. Keep looking for Stucky. Jane's out.
The sheriff wants to see you in her office, Mr. Wake.
Я понял. Кстати, а тут... Туда еще. Что у нас там? Ой, ребят, пропал котик. Так, еще тут пару людей.
Come in, Mr. Wake. Your phone's on the desk. The battery was dead. It's charged now.
Спасибо.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake?
How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd lock me up. Excuse me. I need to take this. Hello?
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight. Don't do nothing stupid, pal. We're watching you.
Mr. Wake, can I help you with anything?
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor. Just don't mind Walter in there. He's one of our regulars.
I thought he quit drinking for good.
Опа.
Oh, no such luck. He went on a bender and beat Danny pretty badly. He started shouting like that the moment he woke up.
God damn it! More lights! Hey, mister! Hey, can you turn the lights on? The deputies, they don't understand. They won't listen to me. I need it to be bright in here.
You can get to the back lot through that door and down the corridor, Mr. Wake.
Ниблер, по-моему, да, но я не помню как.
The parking lot is through that door and down the corridor. Pay no attention to Walter Snyder on your way.
Hey, you! Can you help me? Can you turn the lights on?
Я бы включил... А, вон он. Тут.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Hey, you're all right. You're a good guy. Don't let anybody tell you different. You know, I shouldn't even be in here. The cops, they got it all wrong. See, sure, I beat him up, but I wasn't drunk. I mean, I wasn't drunk at the time. I only got drunk afterward. Okay, listen. You gotta listen carefully now. Here's the kicker. That wasn't Danny. No, sir. It only looked like him. You wanna know who it really was? I'll tell you who it really was. It was a goddamn space alien! I know it sounds like something that a drunk would say, but believe me, I wasn't drunk then.
Так, ну, собственно, вот за что его упекли. Дэнни, видно, тьма взяла под контроль. Ему пришлось его побить, иначе, да, ему самому было бы не очень хорошо. Однако он считает, что это были инопланетяне.
In spite of its human mask, to describe the dark presence as intelligent would have implied human qualities on something decidedly inhuman. Nonetheless, it found the one spot in the diner that was dark enough. Some light spilled into the corridor, ravaging it. But it took the pain. Horrible as it was, the writer would soon fix that. He would be coming to the one place where it still had power.
Ну, слушайте, вот эти страницы, это по сути как записки в некоторых играх, но, как по мне, это самая лучшая реализация подобной идеи. Они их тут очень неплохо интегрировали в сюжет, еще и озвучили, вообще замечательно.
The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, "Go through the fence on the left."
Well, folks, it's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep. Just one more item before I go. It's been a busy night for the Sheriff's Department. We've had a few broken windows, even a report of shots fired on Main Street. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton had to deal with two intoxicated young men who were celebrating the completion of their Deer Fest float. Now, folks, we get this every year. I know it's exciting that the big day's almost here, but let's save it for the party and leave the gunplay for the shooting competition, huh? There's no point in getting all worked up yet.
Ну ладно, тут ничего интересного.
The caller had told me to find a hole in the fence behind the police station. There was something for me in an abandoned car.
А, вон там и страница.
The kidnapper fired his gun one last time, and the shadow vanished into the darkness it had come from.
Опа.
See? Nothing to it, Wake. The thought of Alice in his hands was revolting. We stood on the wooden platform of Lover's Peak, the waterfall and the mountain behind us, the lights of the radio mast blinking red in the heights above. I fought with the urge to take a swing, force myself to speak. Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
Тут у нас и реплики уже будущих событий.
Alice's driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business.
Barry?
Ow! Ow! Thank God! Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here.
Ну,
Here
собственно,
in my
Барри.
calls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Al, what the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
Ну, я мог перепрыгнуть там, но ладно.
A writer is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
Marvelous, Sarah. I just wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused on their recent and regrettable little outing. They are not accountable for their actions, of course. I can assure you that my staff has been reprimanded.
Tor and Odin never caused any trouble to anyone when they were still living at their farm.
Indeed. All we can do is to slow down the progress of their dementia.
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. but I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh!
Hey!
Oh, my!
Take it easy.
Hey, nobody move! Get your hands off of my client!
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
Барри пришел, проблемы порешал.
I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake! Barry, you found him!
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Who's Max?
Так, Барри сразу положил на нее глаз.
Jeez, Mr. Takes a swing at everybody. This is not her fault. She's a very nice girl and, more importantly, a fan.
Да.
She even has a fan site dedicated to you. And she was very helpful when I was looking for you. Seriously, Al, what you were saying in the car? Just listen to yourself. What, you shot a guy? And his body just disappeared? When was the last time you slept? What, are you high? Have you been drinking?
No! Look, Barry, I'm missing a week.
Да-да, он алкаш.
Do you understand what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong, it's a good story, could be a bestseller. But when you start confusing fiction with reality, you're buying yourself a ticket to the funny farm.
Wait here.
Да, путать реальность с фикцией. Ну, когда ты пишешь такую дичь, все возможно. Так, страниц тут вроде нету.
Easy there, boy. I'm almost done.
Hey, Rusty,
Oh.
right? You rent cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake. I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here. Actually, I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay, sure. What happened?
Crazy poachers. Max here got his foot caught in a trap. They're illegal to use here. Hell, you're not supposed to hunt within the park at all. But that doesn't stop some lowlifes. Well, at least Max is gonna be okay. He got lucky. Max is still groggy from the shot I gave him, and I'd rather not leave him alone just yet. The form's on the desk across from the mammoth skeleton.
Бедный песик.
Seriously, Al, you can't just go and meet a kidnapper. Those situations always end up in disaster. You gotta talk to the cops.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No, this whole thing. Listen, you hit your head. I mean, geez, Al, come on. You gotta understand how crazy all this sounds. If you're trying to pull a joke on me, freak me out, it's working. Ha ha, let's have a laugh on Barry. Well, you had me going there real funny, Al. You can quit it now.
Да.
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Thanks. Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
Oh, sure. It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too.
Да, легкая прогулка.
If you have any trouble finding it, just keep your eyes on the radio mast. It's right below that.
Ага.
Look, Al, you're asking me to believe that you shot a dude who went poof into thin air, a guy who was bulletproof until you pointed a flashlight at him. You hear that from people who end up spending time in padded rooms, strapped to their beds, wearing white shirts with too long tangled up sleeves, and eating a healthy diet of pills. Al, you make cruel jokes about people who believe that kind of stuff. You're the skeptic. You gave me an hour-long lecture on homeopathy last month. What was it? If there's no proof, it's pure bullshit. Period.
Guess the laugh's on me then.
Al, come on! I mean, okay. Okay, maybe something weird happened to you, okay?
Well, thanks for the heartfelt vote of confidence.
All I'm saying is you gotta throw me a bone here, bestseller. What would you think if it was me? There's no way you should be going out at midnight with a gun.
No one asked you to come here, Barry. Either work with me on this or go straight back to New York. Your choice.
А, вот где про Нью-Йорк. Ну, Ниблер... Сколько там? 3,5 ляма за 2 года.
Al? Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her! This is not a goddamn debate, Barry. I'm going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay, okay then. I understand. You're my best friend and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help and I'll do it.
You stay here, and if I'm not back by morning, call the cavalry.
Just be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist, or it'll be deliverance all over again.
Bless you.
Oh, this place is trying to kill me. I'll bet there's mold in here, spores, poison ivy, God knows what. This is so not worth a 15% commission.
Ну, Ниблер, скажем так, Microsoft, потому что это была игра Microsoft, их эксклюзив в то время, были недовольны продажами и не дали денег на сиквел. Как бы они, наверное, ожидали 10 миллионов и так далее. Она там, по-моему, 3-5 или что-то подобное собрала за год или 2. Затроллили. Так, можно идти дальше, тут записок нет. Ну, слушай, в 2010 году Степан, это была норм, но все-таки были недовольны. Вот спустя время все-таки вот права на Алана Вейка, как я вижу, перешли сейчас к Epic Game, и, собственно, они и дали деньги на вторую часть.
Barry had never gotten along with Alice, but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality. It scared the shit out of Barry.
Ну, Степан, не знаю. Так, ну все.
Barry had the keys to the car he rented. Wasn't a long walk to the visitor center, and it wouldn't be any use to me in the forest.
А, ну да. Ниблер, да нет, она не была от первого лица вроде никогда. Она от третьего лица. Изначально вообще не...
I should have gone to the cops. This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it. These people had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice.
Изначально это должна была быть игра с открытым миром большим. И, собственно, из-за этого можно будет увидеть тут довольно большие локации и так далее. Но потом, как я смотрел там в интервью еще в свое время, типа история не работала в рамках открытого мира и получалась какая-то хрень. Это все лишь портило и атмосферу и так далее. И решили отказаться. А, ты про это. Тут я думал, ты про игру.
Welcome back to the show, folks. As promised, our very own Dr. Nelson has just parked his rear end in the studio. Doc, what's your Deerfest plan like?
My plan? You make it sound a lot more organized than I ever seem to manage. No plan, really. Just taking the atmosphere. I'm getting a little too rickety to do much more than that, you know.
Oh, tell me about it. No sack race for us older gentlemen, huh?
Yes, exactly, Bat. But I'm going to check out the parade, of course. And I'll be one of the pie contest judges, too.
Well, that takes a different kind of constitution.
Oh, yeah. It's my kind of exercise.
Now, Doc, seriously, you're in pretty good shape, though. You're the outdoors type. I know for a fact you're an avid fisherman.
That's right. Matter of fact, just caught a heck of a largemouth bass early this morning.
But you're not taking part in the fishing contest?
No, not this year. See, Pat, I'm just not that competitive anymore.
Ну ладно, тут ничего интересного.
Time and enjoy the piece of it. It's no fun if I need to worry about what I'm catching, you know?
Considering your track record, the participants are probably pretty happy you feel that way.
Well, Pat, that's kind of you to say.
Ну вот, кстати, да, поэтому я говорил, можно тратить под конец все, потому что, к сожалению, каждая новая глава отбирает все. Это, конечно, такое себе, конечно, но, увы. Твою. Кстати, как вы относитесь к головам зверей в доме? По мне это как-то криповато. Так. Второй эпизод.
Crime and punishment. The cancer and cure of civilization. But some crimes are impossible to punish, especially in Night Springs. Tonight's episode. The Man in the Mirror.
Человек в зеркале.
He's inside, Agent. He's a weird one.
So, you're confessing to killing that guy, huh? Why?
Had it coming?
Yeah, but why would you do that? I mean, you're a nice guy. Normal. Took your kid to a soccer game. So how come at the game, you pick a guy and, quoting from the arresting officer's report here, Assault the victim's head area repeatedly with the weapon of choice being a pair of bare fists. Wow, that sentence really flows, huh? Maybe you're not the literary type. Okay, so you mess him up. But why? Who was that guy? We couldn't ID him. Why would a guy like you do him like that?
I didn't like his face?
Well, you must have hated it, because you really went to town there. I mean, there's no way to tell what he looked like. No ID on him either.
That must be difficult.
But then we ran the fingerprints. Got a match. Your prints. Identical.
Huh, how about that?
Your son said you were wearing a white shirt when you took him to the game. Like the white shirt is on the dead guy.
It's plenty red now.
You won't get away with this.
Do you really think that's in any way relevant to me? I had plenty of time to talk to my boy before the cops arrived, you know? He won't stop screaming, am I right? You think he's ever gonna be okay? I left my mark, believe me.
You bastard.
What? You gonna shoot me? What's the point? I'm going to prison. You got me.
I don't understand any of this.
And you never will. Don't worry. Maybe you'll see me again, Agent. Maybe in the mirror.
Да. Привет, Фуму, привет, Рандом. Так, ну, все. Ну, как бы, немного история, конечно, криповенькая. Тут еще страница.
Rose knew that Rusty was in love with her, and she liked him too. She liked him a lot. He taught her to dance, and life had certainly taught her the value of a man who was gentle. He treated her well, made her smile, made her feel good. But Rusty wasn't the prince of her dreams, and that tended to underline the unbearable truth. She was no closer to that Hollywood magic than he was.
Вот, Расти, значит, у нас влюблен в официантку. Ну, это было очевидно. Расти, кто забыл, это тот чувак, который как раз-таки латал песика ранее. Так, еще.
The air in the visitor center was heavy with an awful smell, as if some rotten drowned thing had crawled up from its grave. Rusty kept coughing blood. My eyes were drawn to the twisted shape of his broken leg. The attack had been vicious. Max whined in his cage. Rusty's eyes were wild with fear and terror. He gasped. Mr. Wake, it happened just the way it was on that page.
А вот это тоже интересно.
The vision left me weak. This was no head injury. Rusty, damn.
Rusty, hang on! I'm coming!
Please, help me! Anybody? Help me!
Ой, ужас.
Help me! Can you hear me? Anyone? Please, help! Help me!
Hello?
Back here! I'm back here!
Mr. Wake?
Oh, hell.
It happened just the way it was on that page. I found. Came true. It knew. So dark. It'll come back for me. You must. The lights. In the office. I have the key.
Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back. Whatever did this couldn't be far. Rusty had found a page from the manuscript. It would help me understand what had happened. Shh. Good boy.
Ладно, вроде. Ну, Ниблер, как бы мы тут должны проходить как раз таки в сторону горы.
Make sure that Rusty was safe was to get the power running and the lights back on.
А, вон еще страница. Как бы тут путь лежит, потому что это, по сути, ну, приемная, так сказать. Здесь и должно проходить обязательно. Мы пришли сюда, собственно, зарегистрировались, по сути, получили ключи и пошли дальше в свой домик наверху. После чего, собственно, мы спустились вниз, мы должны пройти здесь и потом отправиться на гору.
Rusty was thrown across the lobby like a rag doll and hit the far wall hard. It didn't hurt until he tried to move and saw his leg bend the wrong way. Felt the broken ribs stabbing him on the inside. Rusty howled in pain and fear, suddenly afraid to die alone.
Так, ну, собственно, вот нам описали, что там было. Еще одна.
At the last instant, I changed direction and threw myself down. The axe splintered the trunk of a tree. I stumbled into the pool of bright light. My lungs burned. I was too exhausted to move. I tensed as I waited for the killing blow, but it never came. I raised my head. Nothing moved in the darkness beyond. For the moment, bathed in the cold light, I was safe. Was too late. Someone had destroyed the circuit breaker. There was no way to get the lights back on.
Да.
Rusty! Rusty! The ground was covered with oily patches that looked like liquid darkness.
I just need to take my senses.
Something had torn a mammoth-sized hole in the wall.
От твою.
Please don't feed the animals.
Fishing
is only permitted
for those visitors who purchase a park
fishing
license. Obey
the operator's instructions
at all times.
Rusty? Rusty, no!
Do bears and wolves never approach any other wildlife closer than 25 miles? That must be least. Never leave your
Да, оно становится сильнее, обретает форму.
What the hell was that? I saw it from the window. I saw something.
Forget about it, Barry. It's just me going crazy.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You're not crazy. I wish you were crazy, but you're not crazy. Al, be careful.
Stay in the cabin. Don't open the door for anyone. I mean it.
Да. Вот теперь он поверил.
In that last instant of consciousness, Rusty thought about Rose. He was older than she was. Rose was barely out of her teens, but she made him feel young and forget what a train wreck his long-dead marriage had been. He still wore the ring. He'd been waiting for her to tell him to take it off. Now she never would.
Да. Ну, печально. О, Натурат, привет. Кстати, в оригинале тут была реклама Energizes на батарейках. А тут в ремастере, вижу, уже поменяли. Слушай, как-то мы быстро продвигаемся, даже несмотря на то, что я вот собираю страницы. Мне казалось, как-то подлиннее эпизоды. Так, нам сюда по сюжету, значит, пойдем сначала туда. Натурат, да нет, это все равно быстро. Я что, думал, что она подлиннее. Я думал, я еще буду на первой главе сейчас. Во время сухого закона 19-30-33 бутлеги нередко обделывали свои делишки в этой пещере. Понятно. О! Отлично. Теперь живем. Твою. Твою. Так, вроде где-то здесь должна быть. Так, если бы всех писателей переставали бы, преследовали. Ну, рандом, да. Уму, конечно, хорош. А, вот она.
Nobody in Bright Falls seemed to know where Al was, but Rose, the waitress at the diner, had seen him. From what Barry could tell, Al pretty much fell off the face of the earth when he left the diner. Rose was just the kind of fan that Al hated, but she really tried to help. She was smart too, knew a lot about what was going on in the town, knew a lot about Al, even knew who Barry was. Barry liked her. That was no big surprise. When it came to women, Barry and Al rarely saw eye to eye.
У нас 8 патронов. Неплохо. Лежать. Блин, или я стал лучше целиться за 10 лет на геймпаде, или игра стала отзывчивее. Но помню, блин, раньше как-то было посложнее целиться в них. Да твою. А, не, блин, так я тогда так же. Проблема была в том, чтобы, ну, нормально прицелиться. А сейчас вот. Вообще без проблем. Ну, ладно, навыки все-таки за 10 лет выросли. Так, тут ничего. Ну да, сложность, наверное, все-таки стоило повыше взять. А, вон еще страница. Ну, Ниблер, ну да, с другой стороны нормально. Ну, там дальше появятся враги вроде пожирнее, но, тем не менее, нормально. Но мы все равно хотели именно по сюжету пройтись, так что сойдет.
I turned the corner, afraid of what the flashlight's beam might reveal. Suddenly, a roughly painted symbol of a torch glowed in the light. Behind it, hidden by a rock, sat a battered metal trunk. It was here for a reason, packed with supplies, batteries, flares, ammo, things you need to make it through the darkness of the night. Something left behind by someone who knew what I knew, and more.
Внимание, медведи. Хорошо полетел. Да, блин. Не, ну в целом, как бы играется бодренько. Весело. Ну, кстати, если первая часть считается все-таки экшен от третьего лица, то вот вторая это у нас типа survival horror будет, как Resident Evil 4. Посмотрим.
Agent Nightingale didn't want to be in Bright Falls. These little communities revolted him, and he didn't like the trees or the coffee. He now knew that impossible horrors lurked behind the storefronts and smiles. He desperately wanted to turn the car around and just drive until he passed out or ran out of road and booze. But he had a job to do. He had a rider to catch, at any cost.
Вот, собственно, да, нам презентовали уже нового персонажа, который скоро появится. Ой, с этим чуваком там вообще весело. Это, мне кажется, не очень хорошая идея. Тут опасненько как-то.
Come on, we gotta get moving. More of them coming. That flashlight's kid stuff. The flares will keep the bastards away.
Ну, их не так много, так что фонарик
You can see them
пригодится.
too? Hell, of course I see them. Come on, we gotta move.
Why?
Because that's the way the story goes.
Yeah, but...
Let's move!
I lost my gun back there.
Не, бля, не, это не
I
он.
got a gun. Just keep that light steady on him.
It took a moment, but then I recognized him. He'd been on the ferry when I first arrived here with Alice. He knew my name. We were headed in the direction of Lover's Peak. There was no way this was a coincidence. He was the kidnapper.
Come on, Wake. You better keep up.
Ну вот, он
You
был
set
на
'em up.
пароме
I'll
вначале.
knock 'em down, Wake.
Ой. А, блин, я забыл, что тут придется светить, а он будет стрелять. Вот, кстати, этот момент довольно такая себе идея, как по мне. Ну, ладно, он не так уж и плох все-таки. Иногда тормознутый.
Lover's Peak. Right up these stairs, Wake. Use the flares from the emergency box to hold them off while I get these boards off.
Give me the gun.
Yeah, no can do.
Так, мне кажется, я все-таки пропустил где-то здесь в стороне. Ой, или нет. Ну ладно. Не-не, нету, походу. тут теперь точно все осмотрел.
Are you kidding? Give me the gun! No time for back talk. Hold him off, damn it! A little longer. Get some light on those bastards. That'll keep them off us. Just a little longer. I almost got it.
Давай быстрее, двигай жопой.
It's open. Move it or lose it.
Блин, как-то быстро. Мне казалось, этот момент намного длиннее, раза 3-4.
Get ready. They'll be on us soon. This is it, Wake. Last stand. There's more players here. Get ready. We fight them as long as they keep coming. Give me the goddamn gun! They're coming! That's not how this goes. Get with the program, Wake. You just keep coming. Die already, die!
Твою.
That's what I got for you. Monster! Like that, Ow! Bullseye! This is a piece of cake, Wake. That's right.
Твою.
You just keep coming. Just die already, die!
Давай. Стреляй.
See? Nothing to it.
Блин, если бы он мне дал пушку, я бы разобрался за пару секунд.
Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
I knew you were going to say that. I read it all before. You're a hell of a writer. Congratulations. You're going to bring about something glorious and terrible once we get you some proper editorial control.
What the hell are you talking about? Where's Alice?
I want the entire manuscript, or she's gonna suffer bad.
You touch her and I'll...
You're gonna give me the manuscript, or you'll be sorry.
No! Come back here! I swear I'll kill you if you hurt Alice! Do you hear me? Come back here!
He had Alice, and he wanted the manuscript because he thought it held some magical power. But I had no manuscript to give him. I had to get back to Barry and figure out my next move.
Ну, с чуваком все понятно.
On more than one occasion, Alice had tried to explain to me how it felt to be afraid of the dark. To her, darkness wasn't simply the absence of light, but something more tangible than that. It was something you could touch and feel. Worse than that, it was something with a mind of its own, something malicious and malign. For her, things changed when they were wrapped in darkness. They turned into something else, something foreign, and nothing was safe or innocent anymore. I'd never really understood what she meant, until now.
Это все Веном. Ну да, да. А, блин. Я думал, это страница. Упс, немного ошибся, ребят. Бывает. Ну, она светится, страница тоже немного светится. Такой типа, о, отлично. Фигушки. Что-то он их понаставил тут, конечно, неплохо так.
Sarah didn't care about the legal threats Wake's agent had made. She let Wake go without argument, because there was something about him she couldn't quite put her finger on, something that reminded her of her father. She didn't think Wake would hurt his wife. Then she thought about the way he waded into Hartman, that hair-trigger rage flaring up without warning.
What the fuck? Так, ничего. Тварь. Да, иногда они тут, конечно, очень внезапно появляются. Жать. Так, батарейки есть. Не знаю, зачем я собираю эти термосы, они просто сами попадаются на глаза, поэтому что не взять, пусть будут.
The night had been one desperate situation after another. I was exhausted, and my body felt as though it had been chewed up and spat out. The flashlight was heavy in my hand, and each pull of the trigger sent a painful shock up my arm. But I was finally out of the woods, and things were looking up. That's when I heard the chainsaw.
Оу, бензопила. Ребят, нас ждет веселье. Оу, е. Ладно, у нас дробовик, 5 патронов, живем. А, так, уже все взял.
I had heard the plane fall. It made no sense. It was clear that it had just fallen here, but it was very old and obviously hadn't flown in decades. Looking at it sent a shiver down my spine.
Да уж, это да. Куски тьмы. Так, отлично. Секретка найдена. Да, увы, это все. Там на самолет нельзя прыгнуть и что-нибудь еще найти. Не! Живем.
Protecting your own is saving money.
Так, ну вот, врагов вроде стало побольше, стало уже повеселее, по напряженнее чуть-чуть. Ух, тут, конечно, да. Твою! О, есть.
The logging site was a mess. The modular office had been pushed off the cliff. Deputy Thornton climbed up from the wreckage excited, breathing hard from the exertion. Nobody there. It's weird. Don't you think that's weird? Bored, Mulligan let out a mighty snort. Hell, it's always weird, Thornton. Just a question of sorting out what kind of weird it is this time around.
Там еще страница. Да, блин. Чуть не сдох. Мы были так близки к первой смерти.
When Barry saw the darkness attack the visitor center, it made him a believer. The men Al said he'd shot, they hadn't been just locals on crank. Somehow the world had changed, like the channel had been switched without warning. You think you're watching a sitcom, and you're really watching a horror show. When the birds started attacking the cabin, Barry wasn't surprised, just terrified.
Ну, конечно, он не удивлен уже. Слышал про это. Мы же ему рассказывали. Так что тут можно быть только в ужасе от происходящего. Так, вроде тут чисто. А? Ниблер, ты про что? Ты про этот ящик, где там про тьму? У нас тут. Тьма носит ее лицо. Я как-то слишком быстро все-таки прошел эту надпись. Хорошо, что вот написал. О, вон там страница. Ну, ее лицо.
Shadows
Да,
stirred and the wind
интересно.
picked up as I ran through the forest. I felt the dark presence turning its gaze toward me. Then the moonlight was blotted out by dark shadows that raced violently across the ground, moving too swiftly to be natural. Darkness gathered between the trees and melted again to reveal the taken. No natural path had brought them here.
Ну, натурат посмотрим. Там как бы в конце игры еще там будет кое-что интересное и с этими надписями. Твою. Блин, дробаш, конечно, хорош. Просто бам и все. Но, кстати, да, тут мы можем сделать вот так. Нет. Стоп, разве? Мне казалось, это можно ломать. Ой, это не дробаш, это, да, снайперская винтовка вроде. Для прицела и вроде есть. Перепутал. Офигенная пушка, короче.
Logging is a hazardous occupation.
А вот и бензопила, дождались. Отлично. Просто превосходно. Ты чё думаешь? Отдел тут спортивный костюм от Абибаса и самый лучший? Так. Охотничья болтовка. Ага, спасибо, натурат. Ну, натурат, как бы, если ты его держишь в руках, он держится дольше, а если бросаешь на землю, то он быстрее кончается. Привет, кот. А ты все пропустил.
Barry?
Ow! The porch is covered with birds. They've got all Hitchcock on me.
Натурат, согласен.
I'm on my way. Don't open the door.
What am I, crazy?
Stay hidden. I'll be there soon. Just make sure you keep the lights on.
I still had to reach Barry at the cabin, but at least I was out of the woods.
Вот, понятно, хорошая причина.
The FBI agent's command froze me in place. I considered surrender. It was all falling apart anyway. I could give in, let someone else deal with it, but it felt all wrong. Call it instinct, his posture, the way he held the gun. He was no friend. Shots ringing in my ears, I leaped for the hole in the fence and stumbled into the darkness beyond. I'd have to get the car from the locked garage. It would get me back to Barry faster, and the headlights were a welcome bonus.
Да, только заперто. Вот, кстати, остатки от открытого мира. Управление транспортом, все дела. О, кстати, телек.
I had to find the key to the garage.
Странно, по телеку ничего. А, во, есть.
A story is not a machine that does what you tell it. A story is a beast with a life of its own. You can create it, shape it, but as the story grows, it starts wanting things of its own. Change one thing and you set off a chain reaction of events that spreads through the whole thing. The characters have to be true to themselves. The events need to follow a logic that fits the story. A single flaw and the magic is gone. The story dies. Alice dies.
Афу. Твою! Чувак, ты что там, застрял? Твою же ж, вот это было внезапно. Так. Кот, а как же там собрать на квартиру, машину, жену? Ладно. На донаты в Геншин или Хонкай. Ну чё, погнали? Кармагеддон. Ну, кстати, мне кажется, ли машина поприятнее управляется, чем в оригинале? Ой. Так, ладно, это не то место. Значит, это с другой стороны там. А, нет? Разве? Да, блин. Давай, перезаряжай. Давай, давай. Так, и страница есть.
There was no misunderstanding. Cauldron Lake was where Alice and I had stayed. But there was no cabin, and no island. I was missing a week. What had happened to me? What had happened to Alice? I had to get her back. I couldn't face life without her.
Так, мы вернулись. Хотя лучше бы я взял машину. Ну ладно, пофиг. Тут просто другой путь. Так, вот, собственно, это тут главное. Вот сейчас поднимаемся вверх к домику. Господи, Алан, тебе бы в качалку, что ли? Стамину прокачать.
The flare gun was probably the best weapon I could imagine against the dark things I was facing. It was the kidnapper.
You son of a bitch! Where's my wife?
Enough horseplay, Wake. You deliver the manuscript, and you can have your woman back. Simple as that.
I don't... Listen. Listen. I'm gonna need time to finish it. I still need to write the ending. I need... a week.
It's not done?
I need a week.
2 days. The old Bright Falls coal mine is nearby. You can find it easy, city boy. The main building, there at noon. You bring the manuscript, you'll get your wife. If not, well, get me?
Yes, I get you.
Да. Ну, мы можем принести ему вот эти страницы, которые у нас есть пока что. Так, стоп, не туда. Тут мы уже были. Слушай, а тут трава реально неплохая.
Barry had talked about birds over the phone.
Ау.
I am so glad you're here. A couple of them got in here before I blocked the chimney. This isn't normal. These birds are weird.
Ну я понял. Может это... Безумные птицы. Ниблер, ты имеешь в виду вот те? К сожалению, те просто массовка. Ой. Жесть.
Barry, you can open the door now. They're gone.
Все, живем.
Hey, Al, I'm sorry for thinking you were having a psychotic episode, man.
I sent Barry to the town to ask around about a man fitting the kidnapper's description. He'd go through the archives of the local paper. Perhaps he could learn something. Anything about the island and the cabin that had disappeared. The man wanted a manuscript. I had to try to write him one to get Alice back. For me, the supernatural had always been nothing but a metaphor for the human psyche, a tool to use in writing fiction. Now, it was happening for real, and I couldn't put a single word on paper.
Barry Wheeler speaking.
This is Rose.
Rose?
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Oh, you sweet, brilliant girl.
Could you and Mr. Wake come get them? I live in the trailer park outside the town.
We'll be there in less than an hour.
I know.
See you soon.
Have a great day. Hope you come back soon. Welcome to the old
dear diner.
Good girl.
Ну что ж, конец второго эпизода.